final 3 fights are absolute fire. Jessica Andrade taking on the always dangerous Mackenzie Dern. The interim heavyweight title, it's second-ranked Sergei Pavlovic, who's running a 6-fight win streak against Tom Aspinall, whose only UFC loss was because of that knee injury a couple of fights ago. And then in the main event, light heavyweight title fight, Jiri Prochazka and Alex Pereira. Dean, let's talk co-main event. Sergei Pavlovic has been on fire since losing to Alistair Overeem in his debut. All he's done is dominate 6 straight first-round finishes.
On fire, he's been making waves, he's been doing it all. He put the whole division on notice, and everybody knows you stand in front of this guy and try to throw bombs, you are going to be in for a short night. That is not the way to fight this guy. He's got a very tough chin. He's durable. But once he starts letting them hands go, he's got a tremendous amount of speed and just a knack for finding your chin. Everybody at Top Team's been talking about how athletic this guy is. This guy is the truth.
Well, I've said it before and I'll say it again. When people come off injuries, they're a question mark. You don't know if they're going to come back better, worse, more like the rest helps them or not. But when you look at Aspinall's weapons, you see the knee to a 1-2. You see the ground and pound. You see the top pressure, the rear naked choke. The technical ability is very high. The question is, can he take down a powerhouse in Pavlovic, who's been able to knock everybody out by stuff and takedown? Pavlovic has that Greco-Roman background. Will Aspinall be able to use his grappling and his striking mixed together to outweigh the power and strength of Pavlovic? That's the question. That's why that fight's happening. And it's number 4 versus number 2, so perfect matchup.
Oh, I love this matchup. And I love the fact that they got it on short notice, because it's not like one guy was ready and the other guy wasn't. Both guys have the same amount of time to get ready. Both guys have the same amount of pressure on them. This is a great matchup, and we're going to finally find out, because everybody was afraid of Pavlovic. The only person who would say his name is Tom Aspinall. Now Tom gets a chance to prove it.
Man, how tough is Aspinall for what you just said? Nobody else is saying Pavlovic's name. Aspinall comes off this injury and says, you know what, I'm here. Let's go.
He said it before. Like, even before, he was like, yo, I was supposed to fight him before. I'll fight him.
I love that, because that's the mentality you got to have to beat guys like that.
Yeah, and he said, I want to just be like Michael Bisping and come in on short notice and win a title, and now he's getting the chance to win the interim title. If timing works out, there could be a chance that John Jones could be back for International Fight Week next summer, which would be huge. And assuming he's back, he would fight Stipe.
Yeah, I mean, I love that. And it would be great timing, too, because International Fight Week is always one of the biggest fights of the year. Now, watching that video back with John Jones when he gets hurt, I had to double take. I thought that was Dontel Mays. I was going.
I think it was.
Was it Dontel Mays?
But he said he trained with them, so that's probably what happened.
I'm tripping, but I would love to see him come back, and I think it'd be a perfect time.
It was Dontel Mays, by the way, in that video.
All right, so I'm not tripping. I'm not tripping.
All right, let's talk main event for UFC 295. Jiri Prochazka and former middleweight champ Alex Pereira. This is the first fight back for Prochazka since he suffered that brutal shoulder injury, Dom. This is a tough one to come back to.
Well, yeah, I mean, I've had shoulder surgery. A lot of guys have, and then you come back and you fight. It's tough to get the shoulder working the way you want, but Prochazka, with his style, that's really what's curious about it. The layoff, like I said, you don't know how guys are going to come back. Does it help him or does it hurt him? With this injury in the shoulder, we're going to find out. He's had time to fix it, but look at his style. It's so unconventional, so unorthodox. He throws punches from every angle. How will this injury change his style? Will it keep it exactly the same? Look at the techniques, the unconventional techniques. Look at the rear naked choke here with no hooks. You don't see stuff like that very often, and that's what makes Prochazka so fun to watch.
Meanwhile, for Alex Pereira, we've seen how dangerous his kickboxing can be. Not many men have the record he does against Izzy.
No, listen, I'm not afraid of many people in this world. Maybe a couple of ex-girlfriends. And then there's Alex Pereira. This man has an aura about him that is just absolutely scary. And when you spend time with him like I did, you realize how calculated and how one-track minded he is on his career. If you look at his punches now, look at every punch that he throws here against Izzy. Everyone hits on the spot, and that has been the story of his career, his accuracy. And that was the reason why he took up archery, because it was able to, for him to be able to practice aiming and firing and hitting on a spot with precision.
Well, if you're Pereira, you know every single person that's going to fight you other than the style bender is going to try to take you down and put you on your back. And that's exactly what Prochazka is going to do. The real question is, can Pereira stop somebody as strong, somebody as lanky, somebody as strong as Pereira is, and that's Prochazka. This man can match him in all those areas with the power, but can Pereira stop all the grappling that he's going to bring to the table? He really is an unconventional grappler, and he mixes it well. Whereas Pereira, we know what he's going to do. He's going to look to knock you out. He's not taking you down. He's not mixing that up. Sprawl and brawl.
Yeah, I think another story to tell here is Pereira's chin. Well, I'm not Pereira, but Prochazka's chin. He's defensively a liability at times. Can he take the shots of Pereira?
A tremendous job by Dana and the matchmakers. When John Jones had to drop out, they lost that fight to put it together a card that is equally as compelling. Maybe not the star power at the very top, but some of the best young up-and-coming fighters in the sport going to be on that card at Madison Square Garden. All right, time for some DraftKings Sportsbook predictions. Are you guys ready?
All right.
Let's stick with John Jones and Stipe. Do you think we're still going to see that fight, Dean?
Absolutely. I mean, how can you not make this fight? Like, John Jones is regarded as the best fighter of all time. Stipe, the best heavyweight of all time. If you have an opportunity to match these guys up, regardless of when it happens, I don't care if it happens 10 years from now, these two have to fight.
Well, as somebody who's been through multiple layoffs due to surgeries, I'll say the toughest part for me was dealing with my demons without having fighting to deal with them. So I'll be curious to see what John Jones does with this time. How does he grow? How does he stay the same? What happens when you don't have fighting to let those demons go? You got to face them, and we'll see what happens, because that's the trick in this game at the highest level.
We all know John is not very good with idle time.
Well, we'll find out.
Well, there's going to be a good amount of it before he steps back in. That's a good point. No, that's a very good point. Speaking of champions, the light heavyweight title fight going to be on the line as well. Jiri Prochazka, Alex Pereira. Pereira trying to become the 9th UFC fighter to win a belt in 2 different divisions. Does that happen?
Man, I think he can get it done, but I think against Prochazka, he's going to look to take him down and take that ability away. So if there's anybody who could take that away, it's Prochazka. So I'm going to say no.
I'm going to disagree. I'm going to say yes. I feel as though he's going to be so prepared. He's been training with Glover Teixeira. He's had fights now where, things got a little hairy for him. I'm going to say he figures out how to defend himself on the ground and stop some of them takedowns. He's got 25 minutes to find that one shot. All he needs is one to change the course of the fight. I think he does. So the absolute answer for me is yes.